So welcome back. Welcome back to the Marketing Makers Lab. And here's where we're going to talk about the future of making this practice of media planning even better. As a marketing maker, you now understand the concept of integrated marketing and communications planning and the important concepts, of course, of understanding the various attributes that can help you determine which media is going to be the most important for your strategy. These are all core concepts that will help you become a smarter and more savvy marketing maker. But how do we make this practical? Especially in today's very fragmented media world. How do you today, as a marketing maker, apply integrated marketing and communications planning to a modern content and marketing strategy? Well, it goes back to something I talked about at the very top of the show. We go all the way back to Volney B. Palmer and his original concept back in the 1800s for media planning. Remember, media was real estate, a place, empty lots, primed for development. And the media planner was a real estate developer, aligning the best places for filling them with the best commercial tenants that would pay for access to it. Now, things are different today. This is where you, as a marketing maker, have an advantage of looking at owned media and a different way of looking at media planning. The rise of social media, and more broadly, the approach of content marketing and owned media as a strategy, we have become the media. Our brand, our company, and we as people have become the media that we use to look at as a separate thing. We are the place where those invested dollars are hopefully attracting our targeted audience and their attention and their loyalty. And that's a different equation. As marketers, we have to realize that in today's world, our website, our blog, our resource center, and our social media efforts, all of it can be working media too. Our media efforts become part of the integrated marketing and communications plan as well. Let me give you an example of this. I'll tell you the story of the Cleveland Clinic, and they launched a health essentials blog back in 2013. It grew very quickly through the creation of wonderful content, media, to 200,000 monthly visits to 3.2 million monthly visits in just 18 months. And today, the blog receives more than 4 million monthly visitors, making it one of the most visited online healthcare destinations on the internet. And additionally, with more than 1.5 million Facebook fans and 500,000 Twitter followers, Cleveland Clinic's Health Essentials content brand has more audience than most media publications focused on consumer health. They are the healthcare media. So when we think of media planning for Cleveland Clinic's marketing strategy, their own site is rightfully often the winner when they look at achieving the highest percentage of working media. And their evaluation of where else they should put their budget for the best return on cost per thousand and, of course, net reach, well, becomes their own Health Essentials site. That is an investment worth making. There's a lot of pressure on today's marketing maker to look at every new app, social media, network, technology, or even different websites through the classic lens of real estate focused media planning, a separate place where our audiences are aggregating, and thus, maybe so should we. However, chasing audiences like we used to do isn't as productive as it once was. In today's world, there are simply just too many channels for us to keep up. It's not just print, radio, television, and billboards any longer. If we always chase our audiences with content where they're aggregating and chase them more and more with more ads and more media channels, we may ultimately fragment those audiences to the point where it's impossible to reach them at all. Put simply, if a part of our audience gets everything they need from our Facebook page, well, then we become dependent on that Facebook page, that media channel. Multiply that by Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Clubhouse, and the next 2 or 5 channels that come along. And we may find ourselves having to prioritize just which small part of our whole audience we're able to address at any one time. As today's marketing makers, we are no longer simply tenants on rented real estate. We are makers, creators of media, and that attracts and builds audiences that we will value and will in turn value us. We can and will use the classic and well-worn media planning methods to determine that value. But instead of determining the best place to rent, we'll be choosing the best plot of land to own. And that's it for number 2 of Marketing Makers from, well, the middle of nowhere. It's peaceful here and maybe the worst place to place some media of my marketing message. You know, when we think about creating content that reaches people, we do want to put it in places where the most people will see it. And certainly if I put up a sign here, everyone who came here would notice it. But shouldn't I put it somewhere where I know the right people will get it? And yes, that might be a noisy, busy place. But as we move forward, we might just find that the best place to put a message is our own backyard. Until I see you next month, it's your story to tell. Tell it well.